I'm heading over to Arrowtown today. It's a really, really quaint little town. It was a gold mining town years ago. And lots of the old buildings are still there.
It's here in the historic old village of Arrowtown that Daryl and a group of good friends have established their boutique brewery. Their aim was to perfect the art of old-fashioned beer making and produce a range of really good natural beers. Daryl's office is right on the shores of the picturesque Arrow River, where I'm going to meet him with my still warm sausage rolls. And I've asked him to bring along his best beer match to enjoy with our picnic. I made man-sized sausage rolls, so feel free to cut or not.
I see that, Annabel. I better, in the sakes of politeness.
I would probably normally have them with something like a lager, but what would you have them with?
You know, light lager, a honey lager, or a pilsner. Actually.
It's a pilsner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely
Nice,
pale colour.
fair
Lovely golden colour. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, I think this one goes well with it.
So tell me about the difference though between that. You know, I've got those two, that's quite a different colour, and you go a lot darker than that.
Basically, the major difference is the kind of grain used to make the beer and the toastiness of that grain, whether it's a light grain or a dark grain. That one there's got some of the darker beer in it, so instead of using water, I use beer.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I'm going to make some pakoras tonight for our dinner, and I thought I'd like to make a beer batter, and I was wondering, I'd quite like to try the honey.
Yeah, I would try the honey ale, or the maesters would do as well, but probably the honey lager would be
well, maybe if
great
I can take a bottle of each, it'd be fantastic. Lovely.
Just as a good wine food match can elevate a dining experience to a whole new level, so it is with beer. The pakoras are going to work beautifully with the lager, and my Southeast Asian curry paste ticks all the boxes for another great beer food match.
You know, you can buy curry paste in the shop, but I love making it because you know everything that's in there, but it's a really satisfying thing to do.
Peel and roughly chop 4 large onions, pop them in the food processor, along with a cup of roughly chopped ginger, the peeled cloves of 1 whole head of garlic, and a cup of neutral oil, like grapeseed.
So the next ingredient that goes in is a thing called blacan, or dried shrimp paste, and you kind of want to open it like this, as far away from yourself as you can, because it just smells so bad. And you wonder, why would you put anything that smells so bad into your cooking? But you do, because it actually adds this fantastic depth of flavour.
You'll find shrimp paste at your local Asian food store. I use about 2 teaspoons. And now for a little spice. 4 chopped green chilies, 2 kaffir lime leaves, de-ribbed and finely chopped, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 3 teaspoons of ground cumin, a teaspoon of coriander seed, and 3 teaspoons of turmeric.
So turmeric is used mostly just to give colour. Doesn't really have a lot of flavour.
Then in goes the finely zested rind of 3 limes, 2 cups of chopped fresh coriander, and a tablespoon of fish sauce. Puree the ingredients until they're really smooth, so you don't get a big hit of any one ingredient.
So this is actually going to keep in the fridge for about a week, and it freezes really well.
It makes such a great base for so many different recipes. I'm using 2 cups for my chicken korma tonight, and it's delicious with seafood, spread over a whole fish and baked in a really hot oven. And for the easiest, tastiest vegetarian curry, simply cook up the curry paste and simmer it with coconut milk and fresh vegetables.
Look at that, beautiful buttercup pumpkin. And it's got a lovely sort of mealy texture. It's quite dry, so it's going to be perfect for my pakoras. You could use any kind of pumpkins, great in pakoras. And it'll keep for ages as well if you keep it in the fridge once it's cut.
Pakoras are light, crispy fritters made with chickpea flour, and they make terrific finger food.
I thought it would be really nice to use Daryl's beer to make some pakora that I can put my lovely vegetables into. And with the beer, I can use it like a raising agent, just like he did with his bread.
In a large bowl, combine 2 cups of chickpea flour, 2 teaspoons of curry powder, a teaspoon of roughly chopped fennel seeds, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, and 2 teaspoons of ground coriander seeds. Then add 2 cups of light lager. Just mix it all up to a smooth batter.
The great thing about pea flour or chickpea flour is that it doesn't go lumpy like regular wheat flour. So it'll just absorb really evenly. And I love using it for all kinds of batters.
Season the batter with a teaspoon of salt, some grinds of pepper, and then add 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh coriander.
So that's my base batter, and I can add any kind of vegetables into that, and it's ready to fry up for those delicious pakora.
Then add 3 cups of chopped or grated vegetables. I'm using a cup of grated pumpkin and some kohlrabi.
So this is kohlrabi, and it's not a very well-known vegetable, but it's a really delicious one. I'm going to put it into here, into my pakora batter, and it'll give it a lovely crunch.
So you'll need to peel and grate about a cup of kohlrabi. And if you haven't got kohlrabi, you can equally use carrots or sweet potato. Lastly, I add a cup of finely chopped broccoli. In a medium-sized saucepan, heat 4 centimetres of flavourless oil, like grapeseed.
So just drop a little bit of the mixture into the oil to check if it's hot enough. It needs to bubble up straight away. Yes! And if the oil gets too hot during cooking, because you want them to be cooked through before they're really brown on the outside, add a little more cold oil into the pot.
Drop tablespoons of the batter into the hot oil. You should be able to fit 7 or 8 at a time, and they'll take 3 to 4 minutes to cook. And just like that, they're done. So crunchy and just packed with flavour. Yum!